Come on in, honey. The lantern's lit, the veil is a little thin, and the wind's been dying to carry a few secrets your way. Welcome to Raven's Ramblings, where the shadows walk beside us and the past never stays buried, and a good spell can speak louder than a sermon. I'm Raven Nightingale, part healer, part hellraiser, keeper of the old ways and ghost stories alike. So pull up a chair and listen close. You never know what might be whispering in the dark. Welcome, my veil walkers, spirit speakers, and witches of the dark. You've made it. We've made it. This is Raven's Ramblings, and today we step into the final turn of the wheel with Samhain. This is the most sacred and spooky and spiritually potent Sabbath of them all. I'm Raven, and I'm honored to walk this shadowed path with you. So, grab your cloak, not a heavy one, it's still pretty warm right now. Take a deep breath, light a candle, because the veil is thin, the ancestors are near, and it's time to begin. So, what is Samhain? That's what we're going to start with. So, Samhain is from October 31st to November 1st. Now, every time. Oh, these dogs. So, Samhain is from October 31st to November 1st, but many people celebrate it much longer than that. Some may do a few extra days here and there. Some people celebrate it the whole month of October. Some of us, huh, some of us have decor and stuff out year round. And all of those things are completely okay. There is no 100% set in stone. You have to do something this way. It's your craft. You do what works for you. So, pronunciation, because everybody knows this one is spelled weird, those M's kind of throw everybody off. I say Samhain. Some people say Samhain. And even strangers, some people say Samhain, which is fine. That one makes me twitch just a little bit, but that's a personal thing. You call it what you want to call it. All right? It's your craft. You do you, boo. What Samhain means. This is the end of harvest season. This is the start of winter. This is the witch's new year. All right? This is an actual a liminal hinge when the veil is super thin, the spirits are walking more, our ancestors are whispering, um, the worlds are kind of overlapping, the 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 uh, the other world. Could we say it that way? I don't know. So with the veil being thin, both those worlds are kind of overlapping, and the magic is super super potent and it runs deep. So Samhain has roots in an ancient fire festival from the Celts. It marked the time for livestock culls and the final grain gathering time. Now, of course, when the church came in and they put their spin on everything, they cloaked it with things like All Saints Day or All Souls Day. Whatever. It's still Samhain. Now, if all of that sounds familiar, and it should, that's because modern Halloween grew from Samhain roots. All right. But y'all, this dog trying to drive me crazy. And I'm back. Small pause for the dog issues. Where was I? Oh, yes. Sound familiar? Of course it does. Modern Halloween came from Samhain roots. And that seems pretty obvious. I mean, there's still a lot of negativity in the Christian community when it comes to Halloween and Samhain's time of year. But this Sabbath is not just about costumes and candy, although that is a bonus. It is a sacred moment of death and of remembrance and rebirth. All right. Now, granted, costumes and candy are great, but that ancestral reverence, sacred bonfires, and the quiet mystery of that death and rebirth, so powerful. So powerful. So, looking at my paper. Themes and symbols. That's where I'm at. I'm going to get it together, y'all. One of these days, y'all going to see a professional video and podcast, and it's going to be amazing. Themes, death and transformation. Now, a lot of people think of death as a complete ending, and that's not necessarily true, all right? Because, especially in nature, every death ends with a seed being planted, basically, which in turn keeps that cycle going, and then a new beginning comes from that, okay? Another thing we do at this time of year, we honor ancestors. So we're going to honor bloodlines, beloved dead, mighty ones, that kind of stuff. Now, that being said, ancestors do not always have to be like a familial line. All right. Some do not have great families. Some are just toxic as hell, and you have walked away for your own sanity. That is totally acceptable and okay. All right. Don't, there's no reason you have to stay inside that type of toxicity. However, your ancestors don't have to be a blood relation. All right. That's, the old adage of blood is thicker than water is not the complete adage. A lot of people don't know that that quote is just part of that quote. Uh, the full quote is blood of the covenant is thicker than water of the womb. All right. So, what that truly means is the family you choose to bring into your covenant, into your life, into your family, that is what is thicker than those actual familial blood relation kind of things. Because you choose that. You can't choose your blood relatives, but you can choose your family. Does that make sense? A little bit, sort of. It makes sense to me because that's what I do in my world. But honor those people. It doesn't have to be a blood relative that you're honoring. Honor an ancestor of whatever. Maybe you read about a Celtic witch of old and that person really connected in your brain. Honor that person. That's an ancestor. Honor them. So, another thing we do at this time of year, shadow work. We talked about that a little bit on the last one. Shadow work and journaling and stuff, finding out who you are at the core, meeting those parts of you that you want to hide from or that you fear, meet those things head on, deal with them, and move past them. I'm still working on that one personally, so don't put that much pressure on yourself. Do it as you can because that is extremely powerful and extremely exhausting. All right, you have to be ready for that. And along with that goes with letting go and releasing grief, habits, baggage, all those things that are not serving you. Release them. Offer it to the dark. Write all those things down. Offer it to the dark. Let the dark deal with it. Okay. Now this is a new year. So it is a new cycle. With witches, we tend to have a clean slate when the wheel resets at this time of year. All right. And I think more people should do that. Look back, take those moments, look back on the past year, see what was good, what was bad, and get rid of the things that were not great for you. Forgive yourself for some things. Give yourself a little bit of grace. Give yourself the opportunity to heal from things and to move past them. It's not a big deal. You do it for other people, do it for yourself. Okay? So this is not about fear, it is about reverence because the beauty of decay is the promise in the soul. Does that make sense? Maybe my accent kind of messed that up. The beauty of decay and the promise in the soil. There we go. The soil, the dirt. That kind of, not the soul. Yeah, I know. My accent kind of screws everything up sometimes. And what that really means is that even when this is the time of the year where everything is dying, if you can see my quotation, dying, it's not really dying because it is all about the rebirth, and that decay from, like, let's say the leaves falling, they go to the ground, they decay into the ground, they fertilize the soil, which of course makes those seeds that are coming in the spring fertilized and ready to go and gives that boost. So the decay is bringing forth that new life, that new cycle. That's the good part. All right. Now that I've rambled about who even knows now, we're going to go into our correspondence, and y'all know I love the correspondence. Some of our colors for this time of year: black and orange. Duh. Hello. It's Halloween season. It's Samhain season. Of course, black and orange. We also have silver. I love silver. It makes me happy. Deep purple. I mean, you look around in my video right now and almost everything is purple. So yeah, purple works for me. Blood red. Oh, a good vampire blood red. That makes my heart happy. Like, I don't wear it as clothing because it's too bright for me. It bothers my ADHD, but I love looking at, like, accent colors, and blood red's gorgeous. Gold. Gold is also very popular right now. Then we move on to our crystals: obsidian, onyx, smoky quartz, amethyst, garnet, bloodstone. I have a bloodstone around here that I have not been able to find. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna have to tear this room apart and see if I can find it. Now, some of our herbs and plants: mugwort, rosemary, wormwood, sage. We've had that discussion. Keep that in mind. Marigold, apples, pumpkins, garlic. Love some garlic. I don't eat pumpkin. I've never been a pumpkin pie person. I don't. It's kind of weird to me. But you do you. You know. This is also a great time to start doing simmer pots. I love a good simmer pot. My wife, I think she would hate me if I did them all the time because I like to put cinnamon in stuff. She hates cinnamon. I don't know why she wants to be terrible, but I know she loves me. She just doesn't love cinnamon. So, some of our symbols: skulls and bones and cauldrons and keys and crossroads and candles and ravens. Hey. And you'll see why all of that sounds super familiar in just a second, because we're going to go over deities. The crone, part of our triple goddess with the maiden, mother, and crone. The crone is really high on the totem pole right now. That is not a good saying now that I think about it. Pardon me for that one. That, yeah, I'm going to fix that. So the crone, Hecate or Hecate, or however you would like to pronounce it. The Morgan. Once again, there's our two triple goddesses that are the apex, let's say. Anubis. I like some Anubis. Hel, Persephone, and then our ancestral spirits. All of those are our deities that are a little more to the forefront right now this time of year. Food and drinks: apple cider, of course, pomegranate, pumpkin bread, not for me, but do you if that's what you like. Root and vegetable stews. Now, I do like a good stew, especially when it gets colder. They're just, they warm my heart and my soul. I love it. Some mulled wine, some soul cakes. And these are some of the things you can also put out in our rituals that we're going to go over in just a second. So, rituals and ways to celebrate. There are a lot of different ways to honor this Sabbath. Some of them light, some of them kind of deep, but all of them are magical. Okay, let me get my notes. Because y'all know I can't remember shit. I have to have all this written. Well, I don't write it down. I have to type it because I have the handwriting of a serial killer. So I have to type it all out, and my mind's not what it used to be. One of the things that we do this time of year, especially directly on Samhain, is set up an ancestral altar. All right, and this one to me is super powerful. I did one of these several years ago, and it really kind of opened a connection for me and helped me heal from some stuff, which was unexpected but amazing. So on your ancestral altar, you can put photos and heirlooms. Maybe you have something small of that ancestor that you would like to put it on there. You can also do things like candles and leave offerings like wine or bread or incense or those soul cakes we talked about a while ago. Speak these people's names, speak those ancestral names, invite them in to visit, right? Take that time to converse with them, and you may hear those messages back. Be open to that, you know, be open to it. You can also perform a ritual release, all right? Write down those things that no longer serve you, whether they be habits or grief. Grief is a big one for me. Uh, Fear, expectations. Write all those things down, burn it or bury the paper. Let Now remember we talked about the burying the paper thing. Make sure it's something that'll biodegrade, not harm anything. Let the earth have that and transform it, transmute it, and negate it basically, and just let it go. Get rid of it, release it. You can host a dumb supper. The cat's wandering around under my desk. Set a place at your table for the dead. Now, we see a lot of that when it comes to like military things, Memorial Day, that kind of stuff. Like even where I work, they set up a place in the cafeteria basically as a dumb supper. It's a place setting with a little bit of things around it with some flowers and honoring those that are gone. So that's kind of what you're doing. You're setting a place at your table for the dead. You can eat in silence, or you can even speak to your loved ones who have passed. You know, invite them in, set them down, show them that you remember. It's a very powerful and sacred tradition. Now, some other things we can do: scry or commune with the spirits. Now, be careful, be respectful. You know, you can use dark mirrors, you can use bowls of water with like black ink in them to give you that nice flat surface. Some people even use flame. I personally, I love to look at flames, but I have not been able to divine any message from them, but they are extremely mesmerizing for me. So Samhain is ideal for divination, for dreams, for mediumship. All those things are extremely potent, especially right now because the veil is so thin. Be respectful, protect yourself. If you need to, set a circle, put you a circle of salt down. Whatever you need to do, make sure you're protected just in case. It doesn't hurt anything to protect yourself. All you can do is protect you. Now, this next one is my favorite, I think, because we don't get a chance to do these kinds of things. Dress up in your most witchy outfits. Put on that magical garb. This is our holiday. This is our new year. Let's own that. Put on that magical garb like cloaks or pointy hats or bone jewelry, which I love. Light every candle in your house. Claim the night. Own that. That's amazing. Remember, we once wore masks to blend in with the spirits and the goblins. and to frighten the tricksters. Do it again. It's a good time. Good time. So, moving on to spiritual reflection, Samhain teaches us that death is a doorway. Okay, it's not an end. It's not a dead end street. It's a doorway. It really is. Trees shed their leaves. Seeds sleep in the soil. There, let me get my accent under control. And then we too can release what's done so something new can rise. You know, take that time, take the decay, let it fertilize something new. Right? Samhain teaches us that death is not the end, it's just part of the cycle. The wheel turns, the light fades, and still life goes on. And it does, and it just keeps going. We carry the wisdom of those who came before us. We walk forward into that dark with open hearts and steady steps. You've made it through the year. You've grown. You've survived. Now it's time to rest, remember, and renew. And allow yourself that. Allow yourself that time to rest and to renew and to begin the next cycle. Okay? So ask yourself, what needs to be let go so that you may live fuller? You know, that's part, to me, that's part of shadow work. And that's digging deep into the base of things. You know, ask yourself, which ancestors or guides do you feel like wish to speak with you? And take those steps. Take those steps to speak with them or to listen. You may not have anything to say, but maybe they do. Listen. Doesn't hurt anything. Just listen. Now, how can I honor the darkness without losing my light? This one is a little bit harder for me. I thrive in the darkness personally. I don't think I have much light. Now, others tell me that I am very love and light, and I'm not. I am sage and hood and wish a motherfucker would. On the off chance I get the choice, I am probably going to choose violence and darkness, and that is not necessarily healthy, but that's just who I am at the core. Don't be like that. Find your joy, find your light, hold on to your light. There's, you know, you can honor the darkness, but don't live in the darkness. It's not always a good place to be. So, with that, you've grown through every spoke of the wheel. Now, rest, remember, renew. And that, my dear friends, is Samhain, the witch's new year, the sacred pause before the wheel turns again with Yule. So, if this episode stirred your spirit or made you laugh or made you question, share it with a friend or your coven or even an ancestry loving soul. Raven's Ramblings is streaming on Spotify right here where you're probably listening. And, surprise, I'm getting all my episodes switched over to YouTube now too. Even those without video, we're going to have the audio on there. And then, of course, the video ones, which I'm so sorry. You can always just turn the video part off and just, listen if you want. You know, I look like a train wreck most of the time, but this is me. This is who I am. Give me a follow. Leave me a review. Send me a message. Check it out on TikTok. I've got some little cutesy videos and stuff up there. Look at it on Instagram, Facebook, all the things. Keep the circle unbroken. Until next time, walk gently through the veil. Hold your ancestors close. Stay magical. Blessed Samhain. Bye.